Again, A&M comes out with a 35-14 win. They'll head home next week to play South Carolina before a bye week, and I think that bye week's going to come at a really, really good time for A&M. They're not 5-2 on the year. If they can go home and take care of business at home, sets up for a huge stretch at the end of the year, and A&M has a chance now to go in at 6-2 into the bye week, and so a huge opportunity going home next week before opening up against coming back out of the bye week with a home game against Auburn on November 6th. On Seth Small, yeah, isn't that the way it works, right? 1 week after you make probably the biggest kick of your life. It was a bit of a tough day for him. He missed a couple of kicks this afternoon, but I think the one notable thing to remember on those two kicks is both of them were kind of going into the wind. And the first one was from 54 yards, kind of a tough, one you kind of live with, and the 46-yard one as well. He seemed to hit it all right, and it was straight at least, but into the wind, that seemed to be kind of a problem. It was both at the same end zone, and so I wonder if there was just something there in terms of the wind that ended up holding up both of those balls. The second one looked better than the first, and so it's kind of the way it works sometimes. But A&M left a couple points on the board there with a couple missed field goals. Special teams I thought was pretty solid today. Nick Constantino had a good day punting the ball. In all three phases, you look at, they were coming into the game. You knew Missouri has a really good punter as well. So there weren't going to be a ton of opportunities for returns, and A&M didn't have any punt or kick returns this afternoon, and so you knew that was going to be an area that Missouri's pretty strong at as well. So good day for Nick Constantino. Averages 48 yards per punt. He's just been, other than I think he had 1 week that was a little off, but other than that, just a really, really solid week overall and he's just enjoying a really good year, special teams wise for A&M. Just looking at the game overall too, the only thing I think, if you look at A&M defensively, strong performance. Tackling wise, I still think they have some areas that they can grow, and it's going to be an area over the next couple of weeks that they have to continue to get better at, with some good opponents coming up in Auburn and Ole Miss. And tackling, to me, on those couple of screen plays is probably, if you're getting greedy, is probably the one place A&M needs to continue to make improvements defensively. On the offensive side, got to be happy with the way that the offensive line continues to progress. Listen, we knew coming into the year with replacing 4 or 5 starters, it was going to be a bit of work in progress. But I think they've found now a combination that is really working. And to be honest with you, to give up 1 sack over the past 2 weeks against Missouri and Alabama has got to be something that Jimbo Fisher will go home and be extremely excited about. The way that they're developing. I think Ruben Fothery has really stabilized the right side of the line. Bryce Foster continues to get better and improve. Again, he's only 7 games into his freshman year, a true freshman season. So I think you're going to see both of those guys continue to get more and more comfortable. And I think we've also seen that really when you look at Kenyon Green on the interior of the offensive line, it really makes a difference. He looks a whole lot more comfortable. And so I think Jimbo Fisher will really be happy with the way the offensive line has played the last couple of weeks. They've been able to deal with, and to be honest with you, they've been able to deal with some injuries too and continue going. Blake Traynor comes in for a little bit today again, and he continues to kind of show that he's really more comfortable as a guard. And so another good showing from that offensive line. And then again, it's just about continuing to find a way to have Zach Calzada be more consistent, make more plays in the passing game, because A&M's going to need it against the likes of Ole Miss and Auburn and even LSU today. LSU, boy, that's a team that's hard to figure out at times. They struggle the past 2 weeks, look a little bit lost at times, and then come home and pick up a big win over Florida. Shows just every week you've got to show up. And so for A&M, I know there's areas of this game that they'll feel like they left some points out there, but to be able to come out with a comfortable 35-14 win on the road in the SEC is certainly nothing to sneeze at, and you just continue to go to work and continue improving. Again, I thought coming in this was kind of a tricky game for Texas A&M, coming off that Alabama game, and deserve a lot of credit for the way they responded and the way they were able to come out focused and jump out to that 21-0 lead and play from ahead. It just makes such a difference and allows them to keep the running game involved. And I think that's one of the things when you look at the Arkansas game, especially, one of the things Jimbo Fisher said is one of the reasons they couldn't continue to run the ball was because they just fell behind and time was kind of running out. And so when you're able to control the game and be up 21-0, you can kind of control the running game, and no surprise then you end up with 36 carries, again over 290 yards combined between Isaiah Spiller and Devon Achane. So really, really good work from them, and no surprise because Missouri, as we talked about coming in during the week, had really struggled in terms of being able to defend the run.